who stands there and says we are a nation founded upon war crimes, that George Bush is the Hitler of our time, that the problem is not Osama bin Laden, the problem is not Hezbollah, the problem is not Saddam Hussein, it's Bush and the United States. And this is the man who is the sugar daddy for the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is bought and paid for by neo-Marxists like George Soros. And this is a man who calls for abortion on demand, for the legalization of drugs, for gay marriage, you name it, every sick left-wing cause. This man genuinely believes that there should be no borders. He has openly said this. This is not like a conspiracy theory. It is in his books. It's in his writings. Actually, I wrote a huge piece for the Washington Times many years ago, exposing George Soros' worldview. This is a man who believes there should be no borders, that the American, Canadian, and American Mexican border should be erased, that literally we should take in every immigrant from all over the world. In other words, he wants to inundate us with the entire world's population. He wants a one-world government led by the United Nations. This is how radically left-wing George Soros is. And yet nobody in the mainstream media ever says the key question: who pays the piper plays the tune. He has been paying the Democratic piper now for nearly 15 years. Nancy Pelosi, Harry Reid, and Barack Obama are in his pocket. And yet nobody wants to show this connection between these two men. But here on the Savage Nation, we ask these kinds of questions. I'm Jeff Kuhner, sitting in for Michael Savage on the Savage Nation.
The home of the Savage Nation in the belly o' the beast, San Francisco. Talk 910 KNEW and online at 910KNEW.com.
Democratic Congressman Charlie Rangel, chairman of the powerful House Ways and Means Committee, writes highly complicated tax laws. So it raised quite a few eyebrows when he recently revised 6 years of financial disclosure statements, revealing more than $600,000 in previously unreported assets and thousands of dollars in income.
There you go. There's Charlie Rangel, apparently now caught in a major ethics investigation. If you go to michaelsavage.com, you can see, in fact, that there's a wonderful story up, again exposing what a race monger and hate monger Charlie Rangel has always been. Here is a man who now facing serious ethical questions, a man who, as the clip just showed, is somebody who's been writing tax laws for this country, who has now been hiding his money. He has been manipulating the tax code and hiding his money, basically swindling American taxpayers of tens of thousands of dollars in undeclared income. With now a lavish, we now find out a lavish villa in the Dominican Republic, a nice sexy condo in Florida that he just sold. He's got rental property. He's got investments up the wazoo. He's got stocks, mutual funds. Charlie Rangel has done extremely, extremely well for himself. So you can go to michaelsavage.com, get everything. But, you know, like a typical liberal, when the issue is about his corruption, what does he do? He plays the race card. That's what he does. And so at a recent healthcare forum, what does Charlie Rangel come out and say? You guessed it. You don't even have to have me say it. Everybody who opposes the national health care bill is exhibiting prejudice or bias. You see, whether you know it or not, you're a racist for opposing Obama's health care bill, according to sexy Charlie Rangel. And so here he is again, trying to play the politics of race, going into the gutter, and trying again to divide Americans among themselves to distract the issue from what's really going on here, which is that he's been swindling the American taxpayer for the last 6 years, and now investigators are closing in on him. That's the kind of guy Charlie Rangel is. This is Jeff Kuhner from the Washington Times, sitting in, obviously, for the living legend Michael Savage on the Savage Nation. I want to hear from you. The number is 1-800-449-8255. Is Charlie Rangel a crook? And do you think it's time for him to go, to step down from the House Ways and Means Committee, and even to be recalled in a special election? Let's go to Kirk in San Diego. Kirk, welcome to the Savage Nation.
Hey, Jeff, you were talking about the arrogance of our elected officials, and I wanted to share an example with you at a local health care forum we had down here in San Diego with Congressman Susan Davis. One of the individuals in the audience asked an interesting question about a poll she had on her site where it said that 85% of her constituents had voted in this poll, said they were against the public option. And so his question to her was, how are you going to vote on this? And one of the things he reminded her is, you work for us. And she said, well, you know what? I support this bill, and I'm going to have to vote my conscience. And, as I was listening to that, I was thinking, you know what? A perfect demonstration of, regardless of what people say, the constituents that you work for, you're going to do what you want to do. Exactly.
No, Kirk, look, I live, eat, and breathe this every day. Look, to me, this is not a perk of the job as a columnist here at the Washington Times. To me, this is a liability of the job. I have to be with these people on a regular basis. I know the arrogance of these members of Congress. They don't give a damn what you think. You want to know what they really think of people like you in San Diego and all across the country, in their heart of hearts, when they go down to their clubhouses and have a few drinks? I know, because I've heard them. They think people like you are peasants. They think people like you are hicks. They think people like you should basically be serfs who work for them. Because, you see, they're the enlightened ones. They're the privileged liberal elite. And they see things that you just don't see. You see, you don't understand this. But believing in God, that's so passé. Believing in country and being a patriot, that's so gauche, that's so passé. To believe in capitalism, how could you possibly believe in capitalism? How could you possibly believe in the traditional family? So, no, it doesn't matter what you think, because in their mind, they honestly think they have a right to rule. This is the arrogance. They have become an imperial ruling class. They truly believe that it is their right to govern. And what we are now slowly entering into, and you're seeing it very clearly in Europe. See, this is the thing that bothers me about American conservatives. I have one critique of American conservatives. They understand how special and rare and unique America is. But they don't understand that what eventually happens in Europe, what happens in Canada, what happens around the world, it comes to us. We're not immune to that. And what you're seeing in Europe is the future. And Europe is now no longer a democracy. The European Union is not democratic. It is a post-democracy. Liberal elites run Europe. And it doesn't matter what the people think. They don't give a damn. And that's what's happening here. We are going the way of Europe. When Obama apologizes for his country, he is really saying he's ashamed to be an American. He wishes he was a European. He truly does. And so these people don't give a damn. We are now slowly entering a post-democracy. And this is what has stunned them about these town hall meetings. They thought they had subdued you. They thought they had rammed so much propaganda down your throat, that so scared you with the supposed economic crisis, so scared you with the supposed phony healthcare crisis, so scared you with the phony global warming crisis, that you were going to accept everything and just shut up, just be quiet. But you have now risen. And so now they're basically telling you, go fly a kite. But to ram socialized medicine down your throat, they have to vote their conscience. What about on protecting the unborn? What about on protecting those poor innocent babies that are slaughtered every year in abortion clinics? Our Holocaust, the West's Holocaust. Suddenly they don't vote their conscience on that. Oh, no. No, it's science. It's fashionable opinion. No. Opinion polls show many Americans support abortion rights. I have to go with my constituents. So sure, when it comes to the mass murder of babies, suddenly you don't vote your conscience. But to strip you of your economic rights, of your rights to your own health care, The most fundamental right of all, the right for you to take care of yourself and your family. No. I don't care what you say. The government's going to control that. That's their arrogance. That's their hubris. And that's what we have to stop. Let's go to Joe in New York. Joe, you're listening to Jeff Kuhner on the Savage Nation. Welcome, my friend. Hello, Joe. Okay, let's go to Juanita in Sacramento. Juanita, welcome to the Savage Nation.
Yes, Mr. Kuhner. Thank you. I would like to comment on Dr. Savage clearing his name. I think Dr. Savage should defend his good name and not let the liberals intimidate him and put all that fear into him. My advice is to say what you have to say, do what you have to do, and be where you should be. Make your case, Michael.
Amen. Anita, amen. I couldn't agree with you more. Obviously, again, I mean, I don't want to beat a dead horse here or sound like a broken record. This is obviously his decision. I don't want to make it seem like I'm forcing him to do anything because it's not my place. And frankly, I have too much respect for him. I know I can just sense, but being a journalist myself, I have gotten many death threats. I know what it's like to be in the center of a storm. I know